Hello everybody, welcome to my Patreon. I want to make this open video just to explain a little bit about how to deal with all the fucking theory without becoming crazy as me. Um, Listen, it's a lot of stuff out there and sometimes it's confusing. You don't need to know all the things about music just to be a composer. I'm totally sure that you have in your room CDs of people that these people they are like pop musicians, and they are playing just one scale over dominant chords, and it's fine. It's perfectly fine. It fits the style, and it is not worse than others. It's simply different. But if you want to compose for video games or even for film music, you should have a wider pool of resources, because the more you know, the more resources you have, the more things you can do to avoid sounding all the time the same. Then, for example, dominant chords, as I put in my example, you have a lot of scales to put in dominant chords, but you have chord scale relationship, you have modes, you have introtonal modulation, you have a modal exchange, and you have upper structures, and you have the fourth chords, and all this is just in Western music, and we are talking about tonal music. We are not entering to talk about atonal music or ethnic music or things like that. Then uh, your goal shouldn't be to master everything, and overall it shouldn't be to master everything at once, because your head will explode. And don't get me wrong, I'm a big fan of scanners. I like to see head explodings, but not you, because you're my Patreon, or maybe you will be in the future. Then I need you to be alive to pay the subscription. Okay, then please keep safe. Then what I did here, it's very simple. Okay, I keep all the chords that exist, and I get them, and I simplify the things to just three ways of playing a chord. Okay, major, minor, and dominant. That's it. Then, if some of you is a non-beginner, or maybe even a professional music, you will see that on these chords I omit the five of the chord. Then I know it's some videos on the internet of people saying that the five of the chord is a really important thing, but I don't believe so. In fact, what I learned when I was studying modern harmony and orchestration and things like that, it's that the idea of the chord is the third and the seventh, and this is not just a theory or idea, or it's simply true. You can see, if we have here, this is the root of the chord, that's the note that gives name to the chord, and you have the seventh and you have the third. They are major. It's a major seventh and it's a major third. Then you have a major chord. No discussion about that. Then okay, of course, if you put a on the more on the bass, then it will be a minor. Okay, but we are talking that this is the really the bass note. Okay, the bottom note. Then we are talking about the C. Then if we take this, is the same. You have the one, you have the three, you have the seven. It's major seven. On minor chords, on the other hand, we have that the seventh is minor and the third is minor. Then it's a minor chord, and the special feature is the dominant chord. It have a minor seventh but a major third. This interval is we call it a triton. Okay, I write about the triton in my Patreon, and it's open to non-subscribers too, because one Patreon asked me about that, and I reply. I really like that you make questions. Please do it, no matter if you are not a Patreon. Try to make questions that make sense, and I will try to answer, maybe in the web, or maybe making a video just talking about that, because it's important that build a community and interact with each other. I like to talk a lot, but I like to talk with people, and maybe in the future we will make some kind of live streaming when we are more people. But now, the main thing here is I put some simple, four simple voicings. Okay, what is a voicing, Tony? It sounds like dark magic to me. Shut up and listen. A voicing is very simple thing. It's just the way you put the notes. I mean, you have a set of notes that belong to a chord, and you just arrange it in some order to create some sonority, and that's it. Then you can see here this voicing. These are what we call shell voicings. Shell voicing is the most simple way of putting a chord. You have the root, you have the third and the seventh, or you have the seventh and the third. Bud Powell, it was a really great jazz jazz player. He played piano, and he used this kind of chords a lot. Some people call it the Bud Powell chords. Okay, and it's interesting because you just have this, but you outline all the harmony, and you leave a lot of space for the improvisation and for the other musicians to enter playing tensions on reinforcing your chord tones. Okay, a chord tone is a note that belongs to the chord, and these are the basic chord tones. Okay, then the thing here is I will allow you to listen to this. I made something here especially on this chord. You should be very you should pay attention, okay, to this one, the third one. This is a third. The third is the distance between the notes. Okay, this is a third. Okay, this is the seventh, and it gives name to the interval. It's something that I will make a video because it's a really interesting thing. We call it the low interval limit, and as I said in other videos, musicians we are not very creative putting names to things. Then low interval limit means the limit that the intervals have. I mean, you can play, for example, you can play a third up in the piano, and it will sound perfect, you know. But as you go down, it becomes very moody until you don't understand which kind of chord. If you know how to write music and you hear it in the bottom, you don't know if it is a third, or if it is a second, or what. Then each interval have one limit. Okay. Then I will talk about that on other video, but it's important because what I did here is you see this curve. I try to give you different voicings. If your melody is here, if you're a girl, and I hope you are, because we just have one girl now in the Patreon. Then please, girls, come here. No one will disturb you. We just want to have smart people with us. And if you're a girl and you're playing on this part of the stuff, then this voicing is good because your melody will be just over the chord. If you don't have this high voice, that you can use this one. And if you are more like a tenor or something like that, you can play here, and the chord will be below. This is an okay. This is not a rule, but it's just a general recommendation. It's you should put the melody on the top. But we are talking about human voice. This is different, but because it doesn't matter that the human are a scum and a crab walking around in the world, but we appreciate each other, and when we hear a human voice, we pay all our attention to the voice. Then you can put a singer making a simple line, and you can surround the voice with a lot of things happening at the same time, but you will be paying attention to the voice just because it's a human like you. It's that simple. Okay, then but when you are, for example, writing for orchestra, you can have the melodies there. They are working. You put it in the top, but maybe you can put things on the top of it. But you have different resources. We will talk about this in a different video about orchestration, because orchestration is quite important as a video game composer. Sometimes we expose the same theme over and over and over because we are looping. But if we change the orchestration, then we keep the interest, okay, of the listener. Then the thing is, you you play these things. I will play now this course for you, and then you can hear how they sound, and we can continue talking. Okay. Then these are the major chords. In the four different ranges, okay, four different voicings, just to allow you to put the melody over it. As I said, when you are working on orchestration, you can have things on top, but you have different resources to keep them. For example, if the melody is moving, but you have things on top of it, but the things on top, they are more quiet, dynamically speaking, or they are when this is another non-rule, but is practical. When the foreground is moving, the background is quiet. But when the background is moving, the foreground is. They work that way. Or for example, you can move a lot of things. You can put arpeggios or something in the bottom, and you can put the melody up. But the the ear will understand it perfectly. When you expose the melody many times, and the ear is able to recognize, then you can play to put the melody inside the orchestration, and you could put the things on top, and the ear is kind of playing a kind of hide and seek game with the melody. It happens with the fugues. If you hear the fugues of Bach, you can see when the melody starts repeating, you are paying attention to the new one because it's the new thing that enters the melody, and your ear is paying attention. But at the same time, you are hearing the melody on the other lines because you already know it. It's like kind of okay. Sorry, I'm talking a lot. Oh, fucking god, I'm so crazy doing this thing. Okay. Um, we will hit that. Major chords. Well, you hear it. It's simple. Each of these chords. I'm sorry that I disappear from time to time. I know you feel released when I disappear. It happens a lot, especially to my friends. Then I consider you my invisible friends, and you can be released too. But you see, each of them, they have a different sonority. It is because this, for example, this one is open. You have 10 steps. It's a tenth between the bottom and the top, but just to understand each other, we are here talking very easy talking. Then it's 10 steps between the bottom note and the top note. On this one, you have just 7 steps between the bottom and the top. And here you have 7 steps too, but this is below. I put the grand staff. We call the grand staff when you have a treble and bass, because normally when I will explain like strings and melodies to you, I will not use the staff because I know a lot of you don't read music. I will use the piano roll. Okay, piano roll, it shows the music like lines. They are like drafts, and you can see very perfectly when we were talking about oblique motion or contrary motion, parallel motion, things like that. You will see it very easy. But now I put the stuff sometimes when playing about chords and things like that, because I feel you can learn to write music just vertically is very easy. And this line here is a G. Then use a G, A, B, C, D, E, F, blah 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 blah. And this one is almost the same, but this line here, it's an F. Then here the F is here, but here the F is below. Then it's very easy if you want to make this trick of reading, like if you learn this one, then here you will transport like, oh, what here is there, here is a line below, but it's not a line. This is F, and F is here. You see the line is down, but it's better if you learn it at the same time. This is F, this is G, okay? And then now you will learn a lot. When you see a lot of C's, you already know that the first line that appears is a C, and blah 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 blah. Crazy stuff. You don't need it. Believe me, you don't need it. But if you learn it, it will not harm you, okay? And we are here. Not is young. It's just about. It's 2 in the morning. Great. Okay, then we already hear the major chords, and now we'll have another listen to them. Now we will enter in minor chords. Minor chords, as I said in other, I don't remember if it was a video or a post or something, because I'm unable to remember all the things I do and all the things I say and where the fuck I'm saying them, because I talk a lot, as you can feel. But Minor chords, some people say that major is happy and minor is sad, and I don't agree with that. For me, minor is just more emotional. You have, at least for me, it's very personal. It's very subjective, and this is one of the beautiful things of the music. You have a kind of theory that you can discuss. I mean, theory is theory, as is, and that's it. But it's other things about how some certain people feels about certain chords. I remember when I was in a master class with Mike Mossman. If you look in the internet, this guy is a really, really good musician, and I was very fortunate to can be in his master class. And he was saying to us that for him, the most sadness, the sadness, the most sad chord in the world is a minor chord with the augmented five. It was his feeling. For me, it's other things, Then for you can be others. Then that's great. But minor chords, in general way, I feel they reflect a wider range of emotions that major chords. But okay, maybe you feel different, and that's perfectly okay. That's one of the good things about music. Oh, we have a problem here. It's I disappeared now. Okay, meanwhile I come back. Just gonna hear the minor chords. Ups, it was that was the, but I'm not here anymore. Well, whatever. We will finish that. Then, as you can see, the minor sounds different, but it's exactly the same. I give you two voicings here just to be on this register, and I give you another voicing just to be there. Okay, then let's gonna have a listen. Great. And now to finish, we will talk about dominants. Okay, dominant chords, they're just like you when you spend 8 hours in work and you feel really bad, and the only thing is in your head is to go to your home and have something to eat and just go to bed and relax yourself and release all the tension all the day. Then they are like you. I mean, they want to go to somewhere. They want to move. They are, a major chord. Normally, when it's the one of the scale, it doesn't want to move to any place. Minors have a little bit more of instability, but they are quite stable too. But dominants are they because they have this interval between the E and the B flat, between the third and the flat seven, that we call it a triton. If you look in my page, I answer to a Patreon. It's the name of the post, I believe, is answering to Patreons or something like that. And they asked me about the triton, and I talk a bit about I'll talk a little bit about it. That this interval wants to resolve. I mean, it gives a lot of tension and it wants to resolve. Let's have a listen. On this case, C dominant is C7 is the dominant, or F major. Okay, then the resolution, this one wants to go to A. Okay, and it have a hard tendency to go there, and this is one of the reasons I tell you. And this one wants to go to F. I mean, the third wants to go to the root of the new chord, and the seventh wants to go to the third of the new chord, that is F, and is just half a step. It's like when you are like peeing yourself and you are in the door, and you try to open with the keys, and they fall from your hands and you are like, oh my god, then is that feeling. They are very, very, very near, and he wants to really go there. I know I put some strange examples to talk about music, but if we have some fun, it's good. And if not, you can unsubscribe or never come back. No problem with that. Anyway, we will put this again to hear the sound of the dominant chord. When you hear a dominant chord, you want to hear the resolution. If you do that, like now, you feel it? It's like you are finally in home. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you like it, subscribe it, and we will have more crazy stuff like this and different things, and all this is necessary to know a little bit of theory just to understand the videos and to, in the best of cases, to write music for video games. Okay, see you next time and have a nice day, night, or whatever.